Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, July 4th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin this Independence Day edition with last night's Monday Night Raw broadcast live on USA Network from the CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore. In the main event, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins battled Dominic Mysterio in a non-title match, winning by disqualification due to outside interference from Damian Priest. Rollins suffered a beatdown from Judgment Day following the match, which led to a miscommunication and conflict between Priest and Finn Balor.
Rollins out! Pedigree! Seth looking to get out of Dodge quickly. Smart move by the champion. Damian Priest was going to cash in and become World Heavyweight Champion. You can't convince me otherwise. Finn Balor may have just screwed his own teammate.
This isn't my fault.
I'd be champion right now.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't for you, I'd be champion right now. I'm money in the bank, yeah.
You lost because you
I don't care how long you have.
And I don't care about your vendetta, man. Don't make this about you. This is about the Judgment Day. Guys! Get it down, bro.
The match between Rollins and Mysterio had been made during the opening segment of the show, during which Rollins was also confronted by Cody Rhodes, who wound up brawling on the entrance ramp with Brock Lesnar when Lesnar made a surprise appearance.
The Beast is here! And Rhodes isn't hanging around! Cody Rhodes has been asking for this! Oh my God! Begging for this! Rhodes wants Lesnar! Well, Cody, you got him! Cody issued an open challenge to Brock Lesnar. That's over a month ago. We have not seen Brock Lesnar since. Well, Lesnar calls his own shots and operates on his own schedule. But Lesnar and Rhodes have come face to face, and the fists are flying. Seth Rollins gets out of the ring, but Cody Rhodes not backing down.
Also on the show, Ronda Rousey confronted her former tag team partner Shayna Baszler, who turned on her last weekend at Money in the Bank during the match in which they lost the WWE Women's Tag Team title. The confrontation led to a physical altercation in which Baszler got the better of Rousey. Following the confrontation, Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green won a tag team turmoil match to earn a shot at Women's Tag Team Champions Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Rodriguez and Morgan were seen on the show saving Natalya from a beating by Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley after Ripley's victory over her. In other results, Priest pinned Shinsuke Nakamura, Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupree beat the Viking Raiders in Valhalla, and Matt Riddle defeated Giovanni Vinci. Following the match, Drew McIntyre saved Riddle from an attack by Imperium. The CFG Bank Arena, originally known as the Baltimore Civic Center, is one of WWE's longest-running venues and has been run by the company since April 1963, debuting with a card headlined by Buddy Rogers defending the WWF World title against Bobo Brazil. It was also the site of superstar Billy Graham's defeat of Bruno Sammartino for the world title in 1977. In ratings news, last Friday night's AEW Rampage drew a total audience of 450,000 viewers to TNT, an increase of 15% from the previous week's audience of 391,000 according to WrestleNomics. This was Rampage's largest audience in 3 months. In the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic, Rampage drew a .13 rating equating to 171,000 viewers and up from the previous week's .11 key demo rating. In ticket sales news, tomorrow night's edition of AEW Dynamite in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada had 5,314 tickets distributed to Rogers Place as of a WrestleTix report from Sunday morning. With a seat setup of 7,103, that left 1,789 tickets still available as of the time of the report. The scheduled event will mark All Elite Wrestling's debut in Edmonton. It is the first wrestling show presented at Rogers Place since WWE's Monday Night Raw from last September 26, which drew 12,200 fans. And in Major League Wrestling news, MLW CEO Court Bauer has responded to accusations made against Jacob Fatu, the MLW National Openweight Champion and one of his top stars. Fatu was accused earlier this week of defrauding Wisconsin nonprofit organization Jake's Network of Hope, according to Green Bay's NBC 26. commented Bauer on the situation during an appearance on Fightful's In the Weeds, quote, "We're watching it very carefully and we take it very seriously. Fatu books himself on third-party shows. We have no involvement with that, but it is something we've had meetings on, and we're watching it carefully, and we're continuing to monitor it and learn more about it," end quote. Fatu has been accused of no-showing an event for the nonprofit while keeping the money he had been paid and then severing communication with the organization and failing to return his payment. As of this recording, Fatu had yet to address the accusations made against him. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.